Hello everyone. Today we're going to do something a bit different. Every year since I moved to this house, my house, I've been making a Christmas tree of books. Last time I did a, a tree of Warhammer 40k novels. It was very beautiful. If I can show you, I will show you later in a picture or something like that. But it was very nice. And this this year, I decided to do a book inspired on my plan TBR for 2026. I've chosen probably around 60 books. I usually read more, but next year, I'm going to challenge myself. When I say challenge myself, I'm not saying okay, I'm going to read more books. No, I'm reading something that I have not been reading as much, which is usually I plan stuff and I don't do it. In terms of series, in terms of big books and so on, and I end up reading more or which is lighter and fast paced and so on, maybe due because I'm tired sometimes and I don't want to read a big book. But this year, instead of quantity of books, I'm going to do two things. The first thing I'm going to do is try to end up reading three things. End up reading some series of books that I've been currently reading, and I've been delaying them reading. Some are not here because I have not yet decided, but let me just show you. Let's start with one author that I read last year. Last year, 2024, and I was going to get the book now for 2025, and I didn't read. Which is a shame because it was one of my favorite books of 2023. Sometimes I do that kind of things. I plan to do something and don't read it. And the book was Far Empty by J. Todd Scott. And it's a part of a trilogy of mystery, thriller, police. It's more policial. I don't know how the English say policial stuff, drug related and so. But it's very focused on the characters. I really love it. The Far Empty was one of my favorite books of the year, and there is two sequels, which is High White Sun and This Side of Night, and these are two of the books I'm going to read. I'm not going to read back to back because I don't do that, but probably read one for semester, you can call it that. Then I'm going to start again as a semester, not going to delve because the books are pretty good. I really enjoy this sci-fi series. It's one of my favorite sci-fi series, but it reads slow for me at least. And this is Jack Campbell, The Lost Fleet. I finished the first series, The Lost Fleet, and now I'm going to Beyond the Frontier with Dreadnought and Invincible. This is military sci-fi at its best, basically, that's it. If I can read more, I will read more. It depends on the first book. Then, finishing other series, as I said, is going to be Peter Newman, The Seven and the Malice, which is the second and third book on the series. I read the first this year, really enjoyed it. It took me a bit. I'm going to read the second and third. If I don't enjoy the second, I will go out because I know that some people complain about it, about the second, that it's not as good as the first one. Let's see. Then, going with the fantasy genre, I read the first book by Mark Lawrence probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm going to read the second one with King of Thorns. I remember reading it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I hoped, but I'm going to try this one. It's not because it's dark, man. I read 40k. beyond dark. I will read or the most gruesome, or you can imagine, all evil considered. It just the book didn't capture as much, but that's a me problem. I've been having problems with fantasy. Don't know why. Then the next series I'm going to tackle, it's the Apocalypse series by Michael McBride. I read the first book, and the second and the third is Extinction and Ruination. Although this book says it's 400 pages, it's not 400 pages, man. If this was a paperback, this would be 700 pages. And it is because I checked in the internet. The letter, the font is so small, it took me a while because of it. Now, more series to continue. We've got Dune. I read the third book, I believe it was last year. I reread the second and read that one. And now I'm going to the fourth book, God, Emperor of Dune. If I finish this and I'm motivated, I will try to read the next one. Then we've got Orson Scott Card, the third book, which I read Speaker of the Dead last year. I read the Ender's Game the year before. Now I'm going to Xenocide, or Shadow, the Shadow series. I don't know which one I'm going to delve first. I'm trying to go to Xenocide, but I don't know. Let's see. Finally, finishing the series, not the series completely, but the trilogy, The Road of the Patriarch, which is the Sellsword series by R.L. Salvatore. I read the second book. I enjoyed everything that he does. But yeah, this is at least I'm going to finish that one. Then, one of my favorite books of the year, probably one of the contenders for the book of the year, was a book I read in the beginning, which was by Troy Young, which is called The Other Book One, or something like that. Yeah, The Other Book One. And and I really enjoyed it. It's Lovecraftian, but kind of mystery and jumping around. It reads like Eldritch or board game adventure. So my next goal is going to be reading the second book and the third book in the Troy Young series. I really enjoy. This is basically a collection of short stories in one, like for example here. And each story is, you can read it. They are connected because they are just a story, but again, it's like adventures. Okay, so basically, adventures in short story format. So all of these are the ones that are connected, but there's one more, and one of the authors that I read this year, and I have all of his books, and I'm procrastinating myself to read more. It's F. Paul Wilson. I read The Keep this year, and my goal is to read one book each quarter of next year. And I've got The Tomb, the first book in the Repairman Jack, but also the second in the Adversary Cycle. And then we have The Touch, Reborn, and Reprisal. So one each quarter. I guess that's doable. In terms of sci-fi books that I'm going to read, I've got two books. One I did finish and I made a review here, was Joshua Tree Calvert, Annihilation, The Counter-Strike, and The Extinction. I can read these one per month, and they are easily read. Then I'm reading currently A.G. Riddle, the first book in the series, and my goal is to read the second and the third, The Solar War and The Lost Colony. I'm reading the first one, which is, I believe, The Long Winter or something like that. I don't remember the name, it's a shame. But I'm reading the first one, and my goal is to read the second and the third. The first one was Winter World. So, thriller, with the dystopia, post-apocalyptic stuff in between. Next, Jasper T. Scott, which is, I read, I believe 3 books of his this year. My goal is to read 3 more. It's a series by Jasper T. Scott and Nathan Heiston, which is the Final Days series, Final Days Colony, and Final Days Escape. We now enter books that I'm series I'm going to read. Sorry, I'm in the ground. Then more series. So finally, I'm going to try to read a series of books that everyone loves it, which is the Brandon Sanderson stuff. I read Emperor's Soul, was amazing. I gave it. It was my book of the year back then, and I didn't read anything more by him. Again, I'm procrastinating in terms of fantasy stuff. So my goal is to read these 3 books, which is The Final Empire. It's a very beautiful book. The Well of Ascension and The Hero of Ages. The 3 books, each one around 700 pages, so big, beefy books. So that's the fantasy and the big book project I'm working on. Now, in terms of series, my goal is to read a couple of more series. I'm not going to delve more, it's fantasy stuff for Hammer Fantasy, trying to finishing everything, and this is the books which are series is Slaves to Darkness, a trilogy by Cav Thorpe, and they also with Hammer Fantasy, but it's in the old stuff. It's around 1700th century apart. The story is set, the Hammer Fantasy is set into 24th century, I guess, and this is a bit before. So another series. Another series is Brian Lumley. I tried to read the first book several years ago, and I didn't enjoy it. But I've got everything by him. I should enjoy it because he is one heck of a writer in terms of Cthulhu Mythos. So my goal is to read this 6-part book series. The titles grow in the Moons of Borea and Elysia, which is the last one. The first one is the Burrows Beneath and Transitions of Title of Grow, and then the Clock of Dreams and Spawn of Winds. This is a 6-part book series, and my goal is one each every 2 months. So basically that's it. So now I've got other series that I'm going to read, but one other thing that I said that I was going to do is, going to read some of my favorite or some of the authors that I want to delve. I want to read, for example, 1 book per month of the same author, and the author I chose, because it's to challenge me, okay, is Darcy Coates. Coates, I don't know how to say her name, sorry. And I've got 12 books here. Well, I have 11, but she's going to write another one in the coming month, and I'm going to purchase, and it's the 12th one. So you're going to see 11. I already read 2 of her books, and I enjoy both. And I think I am going to enjoy more of her, and trying to read everything that she wrote, at least this, not going to the series part, but at least these ones. So this is our latest, How Bad Things Can Get. Probably our most famous, From Below, Death of Winter, The Haunting of Lee Harker. Then we've got a part of series that are several haunted. The Haunting of Gillesp's House, The Haunting of Houseborn House, The Haunting of Rookwood House, and The Haunting of Blackwood House. They are not connected in terms of characters. From what I understood, it's connected by the story. So The Haunting of a House. Then 3 more. The Gallows Hill, Where he can find you. He can't find you, not find you. And the carrier hunt. I don't know which one I'm going to read more first, but my goal is to read one per month. Three more authors on this. The first one is going to be, I'm not going to show everything because this is an author that I read when I'm in a reading slump. Her books read very fast, very interesting, and those are Jacqueline Druga books, because she doesn't write series, she writes books. And my goal is to read her books. I have here 8 of them, or 9, and her books are thriller, post-apocalyptic thriller, dystopia thriller, and more post-apocalyptic thriller, or apocalyptic thriller. So yeah, What Have Become, which deals with long winter. Seal In deals with, I believe it's, kind of a virus or something like that. Winter Burn, it's a winter, again. Omnicide, which is, remind me of an anime, and it says here that, I don't know what this is, but it's Omnicide. Sorry. Then we've got Contagious. Well, I'm not going to talk much about it. The Black. The sun rose over the town of Sisterville. Everything went black. A natural disaster of unknown origins. WPP 234. The New Plague. I wonder what this is about. And 2 more. Under the Grey Skies, along with sister vacations, and cities decimated, something happened, tremors and so on, so cool. And 300 days, again, 40 years later. And it seems that it's a post-apocalyptic stuff. This is one of the authors I said I'm going to read more. Then we've got 2 more. And the one author I'm going to read more, it's Charles L. Grant, which is an author author, I'm maybe butchering, which deals with, he writes, or what people call it, quiet horror. So the first book I am going to read is a series of books in the Oxrum station, and this is they are an Oxrum death. It's all set in the same city. I don't know the order. The Grave, the Last Call of Morning, the Bloodwind, and the Sound of Midnight. There are more on this series, but all of these are published by Macabre Inc. and they didn't publish those so far, but probably will in the next year, because the last one was published in the end of November. So then we've got 3 more of our books, not related to it. His books, not related with this series specifically. It's Charles L. Grant, and it's a series about Hollywood stuff, and I don't know how it's called. It's Hollywood Universe of Horror. Don't know why I said Hollywood. You've got Soft Whisper of the Dead, so vampires, The Dark Cry of the Moon, so werewolves, and The Long Night of the Grave, which is mummies, so pretty cool. Now, there is one more author. I'm going to read 1 book per quarter. There are 2 authors on this, and they both, one I've read, around 3 or 4 novels, and I enjoyed them all. All of them are 4 or 5 stars. They made me think, and which is amazing in sci-fi. And this is one of my favorite sci-fi and I've chosen 5 because, and I will, one of them drop out. This is Peter Caldron, Anomaly. This is all the series are First Contact, but they are not connected at all. Only two, I believe, that are connected. These one are not connected, they are independent stories, and they are very interesting because it deals with kind of alien interaction, but different kind of alien interaction. I mean, most alien interaction is they exist or they are comprehensible to us, but this deals with more complex stuff. I believe there was a movie called The Arrival, which deals with the aliens were in a ship and they communicated through signals and so on, and that kind of weirdness of aliens. So yeah, we've got here one, The Anomaly, Deja Vu, The Tempest, The Anatomy of Courage, and Gold Rush. They are pretty good. They are philosophical in some way, and again delves with meeting with aliens, but sometimes they are very different. It's very cool. Another author I'm going to try to delve and read one per quarter is Ronald Malfi. He's well known nowadays due to some YouTubers, but I'm going to try to delve into his works. Let's see. So, The Night Parade, Small Town Horror, Bone White, and The Black Mouth. 4 novels which I think I can read them without any issue. Now, the last 2 categories is one author, I read one book and I love it from her or him, I don't know if it's a woman or because there is no information, which is Morgan Stang. She's not, or he is not well that known in YouTube, but I'm going to read. And the first book is going to be a beefy one. She topples the giants. 600 pages of book. Then we've got, so this is a trilogy with 2 stories, 2 stories within that series, but they are not connected, I guess. Second one is She Courts the Darkness, and this one is part of the series. Then we've got like a side quest, if you want to call it that. It's The Spider and the Scribe. Then the last book on the series, which is She Heralds the Dark, the End, not the Dark, sorry, reading something else. And then The Wolf and the She-Bear. I believe this is a prequel. I'm going to read more about this and read the first one. But the first book I'm going to read by her, because I think it's not connected, but correct me if I'm wrong, I will search it. It's the last book she or he wrote was Death to the Dread Goddess. It looks so amazing. I really love this cover. So this is going to be my first book. Unless it's connected to the other series, then I'm going to read in the order that I should read. Last but certainly not least. Okay, I already have 2 beefy books there, but I'm going to read one more or 2 more big books. And big books, I mean 700 or 800 pages. And one that is being intimidating for a long time, it's The Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. So this is my first book. The second one, it's going to be, I've been delaying this, is Shogun. This book is 100 and something pages, so let's see. And finally, if I feel the need, if I'm gonna, it's the Harry Potter book, The Order of the Phoenix, which has 800, almost 800 pages. But since it's I guess it's an easier book to read. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, that's it from me. All the books I'm going to read in this next year. I hope my goal is to read them all, but if I can't read them all, at least half of them. Let's see if I can do it. Thank you, and see you soon when I show you my Christmas tree. And there it is, the tree. Not all books were used, of course. Some are here, but that's how it's going to be. Maybe some tweaks here and there. Let's see how these handles. So yeah, but we're going to get another light, just it more illuminated. And here the presépio, how you gonna call it in Portuguese. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this.